Today's Daily Dose of Math is about how to use these four symbols to complete statements where you're asked to fill in the blank. As a reminder, these symbols are is an element of, is not an element of, is a subset of, is not a subset of. And also as a reminder, I have on my chalkboard information that shows what natural numbers are, what integers are, and what real numbers are. And these are sets. Let's get started with this first statement. Is 3 an element or a subset of integers? Well, I'm not going to consider using these symbols about whether it's a subset because this is not a set. 3 has to be an element. In order to be shown as a set, it would have to look more like this, where we show with the curly braces that what we have here, down here, this is the set that includes only one element, and that element is -6. This is not a set, so I'm not using these two symbols. I'm using one of these. And 3 is indeed an integer. It's not showing in this set, but the ... implies that 3 is part of integers. So this is the symbol I need. The IsAnElement symbol. -2 is also an integer because integers include negative numbers. So I'm using that symbol again. -2 is an element of integers. 8.4 though is not an integer because 8.4 is a decimal in between 8 and 9. It's not a whole number, and integers only includes whole numbers. So I'm using the is not an element of symbol. And 3/5 is a fraction in between 0 and 1. It's not an integer, so I'm using that symbol again. 3/5 is not an element of integers. In all of these cases, I wasn't considering these two symbols because what I had on the left was not a set. But now we get to a situation where what I have on the left is a set. The set that includes -6. It's not really expressed as an element, so I don't want to use these symbols. It's expressed as a set, so I want to use these symbols. Is this set a subset of integers? Yes, it is, because -6 is an integer, so therefore I'm using this symbol. Not drawn very well. Now this set has 1/3 as its only element, and it is a set, so I want to use one of these symbols, but since 1/3 is not an integer, I'm using this symbol. The set that includes 1/3 is not a subset of integers. Now we get to some other examples where what's on the left is a set. The set of real numbers. I'm not going to consider these element symbols because I see this as a set. I want to use one of these. But real numbers is a bigger set that includes a lot of things that are not in integers. So real numbers is not a subset of integers. Natural numbers, though, is a smaller set that contains only elements, all of which are integers too. So natural numbers is a subset of integers. Integers is not a subset of natural numbers because integers includes negative whole numbers, which are not in the natural number set, not a subset of. Integers, though, is a subset of real numbers because all of the integers are also within this set of real numbers, which has all numbers in it. Let's add one more statement. Is this set a subset of real numbers? This is a bit of a trick question. This is not the set of integers. This is a set that has one element in it, and that one element is the integer symbol. Since that integer symbol is not a number, it means that the set that includes it is not a subset of real numbers. But like I say, that's a bit of a trick question. I wouldn't want to ask a question like that on a test especially, because the goal here is to make students understand, not to confuse the student. That is today's Daily Dose of Math. Please like, share, and subscribe.